Hi friends, this is Manish Chauhan from jagoinvestor.com. This video is all about 20 tips and some guidance for the families who have lost a family member. In this corona times, a lot of people are losing their young children, and someone has lost their husband or wife or their parents, and the family is just wondering how to get access to their information, their financial details, their investments, their real estate, PPF, mutual funds, bank account, and all these things. So we just thought, let's create a small video where we are just discussing some important points you should be remembering, and I'm sure that it will help you in some way. It will at least give you some pointer on how to think and where to go. So let us start. The first point you should all remember is the email ID of the person has majority of the information. At least for those people who are very net savvy, they do all the transaction and mention their email ID. And if you get access to the email ID, I think you will get almost all the information. You may not get the password, etc. a lot of times, but at least you know what all things the person had bought or where they had invested. At least you have that much of information. So this is very critical. The second point is the phone of the person. It's extremely critical because using that you can reset the password or generate the OTP. A lot of investment sites or even the websites of insurance companies, they require OTP to log in, right? So if you have the access to the phone, nothing like it. It will be a wonderful thing. So these two things are very critical: email ID and phone. Coming to the third point, in case you are wondering how to get the data, how to find the data, it is into net banking. If you have access to the net banking, you can generate the bank statements and you can get access to all the entries. You can just figure out, it will give you some hint on where the investment was done and those kind of things. Some people who do not have access to the net banking through the user ID, in case you do not know user ID, some of the bank websites, they allow you to log in using the phone number. Yeah, you can use the phone number to log in, especially in case of ICICI Bank. They give an option to log in using a phone number. It will generate the OTP. You will have to enter the PIN and all, and you can log in. I have done that myself. Now, fourth point. A lot of times you can do this. You can go to the employer and meet the HR department team and ask for the tax declaration documents which the person had given. It is in their records, and I'm sure many will be happy to give you the access. Those things can also give you some information of where the person had invested or the insurance policies, because generally people claim ATC, ATT and all these things. So you'll get some pointers from that. Coming to the fifth point, it is regarding death certificate. Please understand that this document, death certificate, is the most important document you will need to claim all the assets. So if you want to claim bank account, mutual funds, employee provident fund, NPS, or any of these things, anything, the death certificate is like mandatory. You can't do anything without it. So it's extremely important to apply for it as soon as possible. The reason is it is going to take around 1.5 months to just generate that. Okay, once you give all the documents. So after that, and you will take some time to get the certificate from hospital in case the death was there in the hospital, or in case it was an accidental death, you would need a FIR copy, and so you will take some time on that, and then you will apply for the death certificate. Then it will come. So in the whole process you will lose around 2.5 months. It can happen, and after that you will be starting to apply to claim all the assets. So please apply for death certificate as soon as possible. For that you just need to go to the municipal office, your local municipal office, or wherever the death has happened, and from there you can get it. Two important points when you are going and applying for the death certificate: just verify that the name, date of birth, the reason for death, where did the death happen, all these information are 100% correct, the spellings are correct, and everything is fine. Otherwise what will happen when you go to claim the assets and all, if there is a name mismatch, then there will be a problem. Okay, so make sure that the name is as per the documents only, especially the PAN card. And when you get the death certificate, just make sure that you get additional copies. You can request them, and I'm sure you will get it. Once you get it, also get it notarized, because at a lot of places notarized death certificates are required. Okay, so that was very important, fifth point. Let's move to the sixth one, which is that if the death has happened in hospital for any reason, don't forget to take doctor's statement and the declaration, okay, and all the documents. Whatever is there, just make sure you take it from there. This is very important and will be needed at some of the places. Seventh point, in case of an accidental death, make sure the FIR is done and the copy of FIR is obtained. It is also needed at few places. Now, locker, a lot of people, what they do is, without telling the family, they may keep some of the things there. For example, it may happen that will exists. They have written a will and a copy of will is there in the locker. Somewhere it is there, maybe in some polythene or some paper, it is just, folded and kept. People do that without telling their family. So don't forget to go and check the locker. I'm sure you may be having the additional key and it is in the joint name. So go and take out all the things from locker. Make sure you thoroughly go through each thing. Maybe you find some information. Okay. Coming to the next point. This is very important. So there are two things. Either a will is written by the person who is dead, or it is not written. Let's talk about the first point. If the will is not written, you will need succession certificate from the court. Yes. Many people think that, just because I'm wife, or just because we are children, or just because I'm father or mother, we can just give some document and it will show that, see, we are blood relative and yeah, I'm the mother or I'm the father or I'm the spouse. So it is very obvious that, we are going to get the money. It is not like that. What happens in law, there is something called as legal hire. Legal hire is the person who is going to get the money, who is legally, he or she is legally entitled to get the money. Okay, and who decides who is the legal hire? First, it will come from will. Yes, you heard it right. Whatever is written in the will, that will be like the final thing. So we'll talk about that later. But in case will is not there, court has to certify that yes, we approve or we certify that, this person is the legal hire, and here is the succession certificate. There will be a document which will be like a legal document. Okay, so whoever is the legal document, it can be spouse, it can be children, it can be mother, whoever it is, you have to give all the proofs there in the court, and then they will issue the succession certificate, and that may be required at some of the places. I'm not saying it will always be required, but it is required at some of the places. Okay, especially when there is a dispute within the family, then surely it will be required. So meet a lawyer, don't delay this, meet a lawyer and start the process, because you will need it. If not today, maybe after some time. Okay, now let's talk about will. If will was written, and it is generally very rare, it is unfortunate, but yeah, that is the ground reality, that very few people write the will, especially when they are young. Okay, once a person crosses 60-70, yeah, many people do it, but still many people don't do it. So if will is written, still what will happen is, you don't know, right? The court doesn't know, or the company from where you are claiming, they don't know if the will is genuine, if it is fake, who wrote it. So authenticity is still required at some of the places. So you may need something called as probate. Probate is what? It is a document, or it is like a certification from court that yeah, this will is genuine, we certify it. Okay, but it is like a very simple process if the will is already written. If it is not written, then you get succession certificate. So at a lot of places it is written that probated will or probate of will is needed. This is something which is needed. So yeah, you got the point. Next point. Make a list or make a file where you keep all these important documents like marriage certificate, PAN, Aadhaar card, birth certificate or checkbook, passbook, all these important ID for yourself, for family and for the person who is dead now. For them, just keep it, because it is very handy thing. You may need it at many places. Okay, and keep a Xerox of all these places of these documents also. 12th point, if the death happened in hospital in this COVID time, a lot of people lost their loved ones in hospital. They were like in hospital for many days or weeks, right? And it may happen that there was a health insurance policy. Now a lot of people forget to claim that, because that is not a time when you want to do all that documentation. You're depressed, it's time for you're grieving and all. So but still, after some time, after a week or a month, whenever you feel that now is the time to do it, please apply for the claim in the health insurance. Take help of someone if you are not able to do it, and yeah, at least you will get some money, if not full, right? At least there is no problem in at least doing an attempt. 13th point, a lot of times employers also have a life insurance scheme. A lot of company gives that, especially if the person is at a good level or in a very good position. They may be giving a very good life insurance coverage. So just check with the employer if it is there or not. If it is there, wonderful, just claim for it, give all the documents, etc. In case there is no life insurance scheme provided by the employer, in that case you should be aware, and many people don't know this, that under EPFO, I'm sure most of the people who are salaried, they have EPF account, right? Some money is deducted from their salary on a monthly basis for EPF, Employee Provident Fund. There is something called as EDLI scheme, and under that up to 7 lakhs of life insurance is available, and you can get that. The only problem is documentation is little cumbersome, and you may need this document and that document, and then you will have to use a form. You can get all this information on internet. I'm not giving that here, but you can get easily all this information on internet. So then you just take all that document, go to the employer, get it attested, get their signature, and send it to EPFO department, and then after some time you can get that insurance claim. Very important point that whenever anything like this happens, generally the family is in panic. They are in a hurry to take the decision what to do with all this money, where to invest. I want to secure my child future, and what to do, how to generate pension. All these things are going on in their mind. The first point is, don't panic. There is no rush. Don't believe anyone who is coming. It can be from your relatives, it can be some friendly uncle who will come and say that take this policy for your kids, and all those things will happen. First point, don't panic, don't be in rush, don't do anything. Just let the money sit in your bank account. That's fine. If you want, just make a fixed deposit for a year or for 6 months, and let this time pass. Okay, learn about things. Don't purchase any policy right now. There is enough time, don't worry. Okay. 16th point is that talk to the best friend of the person who is dead. Talk to their best friend or their office colleague or anyone who was very close to them. Just try to think who were the people they were close with whom they were talking for hours and hours, and on a regular basis. Because what happens, a lot of people, they share a lot of information with these people, their best friend. They will talk about, see, I bought this, and I'm going to do this. And so it may happen that while you talk to them, you can find some information which you don't know. I'm not saying it will always happen, but it happens with a lot of people. People don't share a lot of things with their spouse, their parents. They do it with their office colleagues or even friend. For example, if someone has bought, let's say, a small piece of land somewhere, okay, they may mention it with the office colleague or someone or best friend. They may not tell their parents. It may be the case. And a lot of times what happens, if they have told this to their spouse, for example, nowadays a lot of husband and wife, they are all dead together. It is happening. Even in accident it happens. Husband, wife, kids, they get dead, right? So parents have no information. There is less communication, especially when they are living separately. Parents live somewhere else and kids are living somewhere else. These things happen. Okay, I think you got the point. 17th point. If the person was dead, if the person was salaried, what will happen is that there are a lot of things at the employer level, like unpaid leaves, the last month's salary, gratuity, all these things which are employer benefits. So just connect with employer and get all the information and do the full and final settlement. Finally, I'm giving you some of the checklist. Just the name of things where you can go and claim. So this is more of a reminder. So in insurance, just make sure you claim from the term plans, any life insurance from the employer. In case it is not there, then claim it from the EDLI scheme under EPF up to 7 lakhs. If there is any ULIP, unit linked insurance plans, any old LIC policy, because I'm sure a lot of people have some or the other LIC policy or SBI policy or HDFC policy, some money back policies is always there with most of the people. So claim from there. Home loan insurance. If the home was on loan, many a times people have bought home loan insurance. So if something happens to them, the loan gets automatically paid off by the insurance money. So it may be there, just check the property documents and you may get some clue about it. Then a lot of times some insurance is in debit and credit card, especially the accidental death. It may not be true for the normal death, but if the person is dead in accident, then just check, you will get some pointer, some information, and health insurance also. Okay, apart from this, investments, let's see the investment checklist where all you have to claim. EPF, Employee Provident Fund, PPF, real estate, you have to transfer that in your name. Any plot scheme, it's the same as real estate, but I've just mentioned it. Any bank account, so generally people have 1, 2, 3 bank accounts. So one will be the salary account, one will be another account, and like this many accounts are there. Locker is there. Mutual funds, you have, in case of mutual fund, if they had mutual fund from 5 different companies, which is AMC, you have to do the process with all the AMCs. It's not a single process. Then Demat account, a lot of people have Demat account at various places. A lot of apps are also there, so they open an account with apps, right? So generally it is also with the bank account itself. So for example, people who have it with SBI, ICICI, they have the saving bank account and the Demat account also at the same place. Okay, then a lot of people have bought sovereign gold bonds. Okay, and a lot of people don't buy it through Demat, so you may find this information only in the email ID. Okay, then Sukanya Samriddhi scheme is there, post office deposits, NPS is also there. NPS you can get a lot of information from the employer itself, but many people open it apart from the employer also. Then a lot of people have RSUs, which are the stocks which they get from the company as joining bonus, or for some reason. ESOPs are there, employee stock options. And then ESPP plan is there, where they are putting some money every month to buy the stock of the same company. So just check all these things. Apart from this, let's talk about pension. If the person has completed 10 years, more than 10 years, then under EPF there is something called as EPS, which is Employee Pension Scheme, and you, which is the family, is eligible for the pension using that. Okay, it will be a very small amount, it's not going to be a very big amount, but still whatever it is, you have to do some documentation. It may be frustrating, but once it is done, you may get that small tiny pension for a very long time, for lifetime. So nothing wrong in that. Okay, so just check that. And if the person who is dead was working in central government or state government, maybe at some places they are eligible for pension. You have to check this. So I just gave the checklist. And then loan checklist, if you have any credit card, just make sure that you pay it off, because what happens if you don't do anything, you are thinking, okay, let me not take any action. What will happen is, even if there is a small outstanding, it will start ballooning. The penalties will be there and interest will be there, and over time it will balloon. The money will become a lot. And if it is linked with the saving bank account, it may happen that the bank just directly debits the bank account, so you have that risk. So just make sure you clear off the credit card or delink the bank account, anything you can do. Then the home loan, car loan, personal loan, all this information will be there somewhere. Dig it down, log in to the online account and get all the information. Regarding home loan, very important point, that the loan outstanding has to be cleared. From the bank side or the lender side, they are all interested in making sure that the loan outstanding is cleared. So you have to clear it off. So if you are getting some money from insurance and all, term insurance, just clear off the home loan, so that home is out of mortgage. Take all the original papers, okay, and then do the transfer. And anyways, if it is on loan, you will need a kind of NOC from the home loan company. Anyways, and then apart from that, car loan, personal loan, just do what is the best you can do. In case you are not getting enough information, you may check the CIBIL report of the person who is dead. How to get it? If you have the access of the phone and email ID, you can go online, generate the CIBIL report, and in the CIBIL report you can get a lot of information on the loans, all the credit cards and all those things. Okay, with that I think I have completed all the points. I hope you have got enough information, and if you know anyone else who may need this, please pass on this video to that person or that family. Even if one point helps them, nothing like it, right? And in case anyone wants any more guidance, any family who has lost someone and they are just struggling to get information, or they just need some small financial guidance, what to do, how to do, what decision is right or wrong, please write us on help@jagoinvestor.com and we will be helping you. Don't worry, we will not sell you anything. We will not be offering you any product or anything. It's a pure social service. We are just here to help you. We'll just help you, answer your question, and that is all. We'll never call you back. We'll not spam you. Don't worry, you are in safe hands. Thanks a lot. I was Manish Chauhan from jagoinvestor.com, and if you like this video, please like it and please share this video with more and more number of people. Thanks a lot.